Hello everybody, British Car Stories here, and today we're continuing the cars that couldn't save the British car industry series with episode 4, the Metro. The car was meant to save everything, but it didn't. From its early design to the Rover 100 crash tests, this is the full story of the Austin Metro and Rover Metro. Back in the late 1970s, British Leyland was in trouble. Sales were falling, money was tight, and they needed something new fast. They needed a small car, something cheap to build, easy to drive, and good enough to take on the cars from Europe. That's where the Metro came in. It was designed to be small, simple and practical, but still feel modern for its time. The idea was clear: making a car people actually wanted to buy, not just something cheap. Inside, it made smart use of space. More room than you expected for such a small car. The engines were simple, easy to run and cheap to maintain. When it finally launched in 1980, it felt like a big moment. The car looked fresh, different from what came before, and for a small time, it really felt like British Leyland had got it right. At first, the Metro was a success. People liked how it looked, they liked the size, and it worked well for city driving. Sales were strong, and there was real hope again. But then the problems started to show. Gearboxes began to go wrong. Some cars didn't last as long as they should. Rust became a big issue, especially in the UK weather. And electrical problems started to annoy owners. These weren't small problems. They started to damage trust. People liked the idea of the Metro, but living with it wasn't always easy. By the late 1980s, something had to change. The Metro needed help, or it would fall behind. So it got a facelift, new look, cleaner design, and a better interior. It felt modern, more in line with the competition. Then came the Rover Metro, and this was a big moment. It came with the K-Series engine, which was newer, lighter and more advanced. On paper, this was exactly what the Metro needed, a proper step forward. Sales improved again, and for a second time, it looked like the Metro might survive. But the truth was, not everything had been fixed. Some of the old problems were still there, and the car was starting to feel old compared to the new arrivals. Then came the final version, the Rover 100. This was really the Metro just updating again, trying to keep up with the changing market. At first, it did okay. People still bought it, and it still had a place as a small, simple car. But in 1997, everything changed. Crash tests were carried out, and the results were bad, very bad. The Rover 100 showed serious safety problems, and it couldn't protect passengers the way it should. This news spread quickly, and it hit the car's reputation hard. People lost confidence and sales dropped. This wasn't just another issue. This was the moment things really fell apart. By the late 1990s, it was clear the end was coming. Other small cars were safer, built better and more modern. The Metro, in all its forms, just couldn't keep up anymore. Production came to an end, and just like that, the Metro was gone. Looking back now, the Metro had real promise. It had big ideas, and it came at a time when Britain needed it most. It gave the people hope, and for a while it delivered. But the problems with how it was built, safety issues later on, and strong competition held it back. The Metro tried to save the British car industry, but in the end, it couldn't do it. Still, it matters because it shows what the industry was going through, the highs and the lows. Today, we talked about the Austin Metro and Rover Metro. In the next episode, we're going to go back to 1959 and we're going to discuss the most important car in the entire history of the British car industry, the Austin Mini. If you enjoyed today's episode, please remember to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.